Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles Sabansu, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and where we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we got a pretty interesting episode for you guys. But before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Now, this is actually a show we had no intention of producing today because we had pretty much rounded up everything that we were gonna produce today. But then I came across this topic again from this website that I just discovered called Front Office Sports, which to me is just like a hidden gem I just discovered. I think it's a fantastic website. Now, before we actually get into this article, as you guys know, Shannon Sharpe made his abrupt departure from Undisputed a few weeks ago. He actually, going on a month ago, he left the very next day after the NBA Finals ended. Right, as soon as the finals ended, he left. Now, we had heard that was going to happen, but a lot of us are probably wondering logistically how is that going to happen. But that's exactly what happened, which means that this was something that was agreed upon. And he left the following day. He said his goodbyes. And from that point forward, we haven't heard anything from Shannon Sharpe in specific. But we have heard a lot of things and seen a lot of things happen in the sports world, because there's been a litany of firings that have taken place at ESPN over the last month. As you guys know, they just laid off roughly 20 on-air front-facing talent. Some of those names were Keyshawn Johnson, Max Kellerman, Jeff Van Gundy, Jalen Rose, and a plethora of other talented people. So they let go of these people, which created some vacancies within ESPN and other places, right? Because at the time, after Shannon Sharpe left, we heard that, okay, that we're now going to try to look for someone within, the fold of FS1. But now with all of these people being let go at ESPN, some people have speculated maybe they'll get one of those people that got let go of, like Keyshawn Johnson or Max Kellerman, and bring them over there. But then we recently just did a show where we heard that they're also looking at possibly bringing in Richard Sherman, who had an explosive interview or conversation with Skip Bayless on ESPN, number of years ago. So some people are speculating that it could be him. In the case of Shannon Sharpe, he hasn't said much, but he did say one thing. He said that you can definitely look out for him to still be on TV talking about sports in the morning. That's what he said. So as I was combing through the internet, I came across this article here from Front Office Sports, and basically it had the headline basically saying Shannon Sharpe could score contributor role with ESPN. And I thought this was absolutely interesting, and I think it's something that our audience would enjoy. But before we get into that, this video is brought to you by sponsor Aura, who's also the official sponsor of the T-Wolves. Do you know what the fastest growing crime in America is today? It's identity theft. Imagine trying to log into your email only to see that your password has been changed. Then you start getting weird notifications from your bank and credit cards, only to find out that all of your personal and sensitive information has been totally compromised. If you think it can happen to you and your family, just know that in 2020, over 49 million Americans were victims to identity theft, costing them a combined $56 billion. That is why we are excited to partner with Aura, who's the sponsor of this video. Aura is the #1 identity theft and financial fraud protection. Aura monitors the dark web and alerts you if any of your passwords and accounts have been breached. And funny enough, after using Aura, I discovered some of my credentials were floating around in the dark web, and the app showed me exactly when and where the breach happened. In addition, Aura allows you to set spending alerts, and they'll notify you of any suspicious transactions. Aura is 4 times faster than any of its competitors in alerting you if someone is trying to open a credit card or obtain a loan using your name. And remember this, every 14 seconds, someone becomes a victim of identity fraud. Don't let it happen to you. Now click the link in the description and try Aura for free for 2 weeks and see if any of you or your family's personal information has been compromised. Start your free trial at aura.com/dreamerspro. And when you try Aura, by using the link in the description below, also know that you're supporting this channel. Thank you. So let me just go ahead and get into this article here. And it says, Shannon Sharpe has talked to ESPN about becoming a high-profile contributor Front Office Sports has learned. The contributor role would enable the former co-host of FS1, Skip and Shannon's Undisputed, to join the rotating cast of stars debating Stephen A. Smith on ESPN's top-rated First Take. They included contributors Michael Irvin of NFL Network, and Chris Mad Dog Russo of Sirius XM, as well as ESPN's own Ryan Clark. At the same time, the arrangement would enable the free agent Sharpe to continue his weekly Club Shay Shay podcast, which now boasts 1.2 3 million subscribers and potentially score a lucrative gig with sports betting operator FanDuel, which allows talent to work with other companies on a non-exclusive basis. But the Sharpe ESPN deal is not finalized, caution sources. The three-time Super Bowl champion has talked to several potential employers since leaving FS1. Over the last week, Shannon Sharpe and his representatives have had a series of meetings with suitors. One source said he's expected to make a move in August before kickoff of the 2023 NFL season. In a tweet on June 19th, Sharpe teased a return to morning TV, saying soon. What better place to make his comeback than First Take, which nearly tripled the audience of the rival Undisputed in June, with 421,000 viewers to 154,000. Smith has publicly lobbied for Sharpe to join him and Molly Kerm on the First Take desk, but he later clarified Sharpe could be part of the family, not a full-time co-host like Max Kellerman, who was recently laid off. I'm not looking for an everyday person on First Take, so for all of you clamoring for that, get over it. I like the proprietor of, I like the I don't know that word of contributors, Smith said. New ESPN hire Pat McAfee has also publicly called for Sharpe to join ESPN, and the article basically continues on and on and on and on and on and on. So let me just quickly summarize this for you. First of all, as I was reading this article, man, there's going to be a lot of money in sports media going forward. These guys going independent are going to make those guys on TV look like an absolute joke. Did you guys hear what that article said about the FanDuel part? Did you hear about that? Were you aware of the deal that FanDuel offered? Oh, the contract that Pat McAfee was running, I think $120 million contract. Do you guys understand what is happening in the sports media landscape right now? I mean, it's pretty crazy. I mean, we recently just signed on with a network. We're going to give you guys some of that information as we come forward. You just wouldn't believe, right? So really, it's startling to see where this thing is going. And I think you're going to see a lot of these guys make a lot of money off of TV. And you're going to be sitting there looking at people on TV like, man, I don't even know what y'all are doing, right? Yes, there are big checks on TV and all of that. But what you can get on the independent route after you've cultivated your own audience is absolutely staggering. To the ESPN First Take part, makes sense. Shannon Sharpe is wildly entertaining. He knows football. He knows basketball. So I think he can fit in any segment. I think having him there once a week would be absolute fireworks, and I think it would be must-see TV. I think it will be extremely entertaining to see. This is just my view, and I would be clamoring to see every single segment that Shannon Sharpe is on ESPN First Take, going at Stephen A. Smith. I think it'll be fantastic. I think it'll be a hell of a move. And I think if Stephen A. Smith pulls that off, he can do something that he always said he loves to do, which is make his company a lot of money. I think that'll be a fantastic move for Shannon Sharpe. He'll keep his name out there in the limelight the same way it's happened for JJ Redick while he's still operating his own podcast. So to me, I think it's a win-win. And what better place to go than the number one rated morning show when it comes to sports, talking sports, which is ESPN First Take. I think if he does that, fantastic for him. I'm happy for him. He should go on and make his money. Good for him. So what I want to know from you guys, what do you think about this news? Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. And again, if you want today's full show, be sure to follow the Dreamers Pro podcast that we have pinned in the comment section below on Spotify or iTunes. Catch you guys later. Peace.